Hey there everybody, Eric from OUTER LIMITLESS coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at a couple of absolutely beautiful blades from the company Artisan Cutlery. So before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Artisan who have made this video possible by providing these products for review. Now today's video is not really so much about a review, but more about a project. Over the summer at Blade 2019 down in Atlanta, I was able to cover the Artisan Cutlery booth with Carlos from Daily Carry Solutions. Now at the time, the people at Artisan asked us to do some hard use testing.
I know you guys like fixblade. I want to show you something with the Proponent.
Nice.
Formerly known as the Fulcrum, now as a Proponent. I want to show you something that this feature I think you guys will love.
Okay.
And love for you guys to do some testing with it, because it really does turn a folder into a fixed blade. Okay, so this is our Proponent. You have the
That looks like a Pinkerton
full
design.
set. It is a Pinkerton design.
There we go. Dirk
Good eye.
Pinkerton. Nice.
And Dirk is right over there, and he came over and saw this morning. You have the full size one, which has become very popular. Then you have the more EDC able one for small guys like me. One of the good things that we did, and this is something that Dirk approves, if you take this little pin, you can put this on your keychain or whatever, and if you put it in here, if you screw it in, now you got a, hey, there's Dirk.
Hey, how's it going, man?
How are you?
Checking out your knife, dude.
Thanks. Now you got a hand guard here, and then you have a pin that essentially locks the blade into the handle. This essentially is a fixed blade.
Right.
If you're doing something so hard that you're breaking the pin, and then you're breaking the lock, you'll break any knife in your hand. As Dirk mentioned, that when you have the pin in there, you take a lot of stress off the lock surface. So this should be just as strong as a fixed blade. Our concept is that with the pin inserted and fully screwed into this, you should be able to put this through most of the tasks, if not all, what a fixed blade of this size will be able to handle.
Right.
And we would love to find out how far our concept will go.
So for all the people that get squeamish when you do hard use testing on a knife, you're actually a proponent to hard use test this as hard as we can, right?
I love it. Absolutely.
All right. Because see, when I do this, people are gonna cringe. But this is called research and development.
Absolutely. And research in the real world versus research on a theory in a lab. So that's two different worlds, and we would like to find different results and compare them to see which one is real and which one we can have our user depend on.
I love that. I absolutely love that. This is gonna be fun.
So here we have the two Proponent knives. Here we have the full-size version. This is the ATZ 1820G, and the mini version. This is the ATZ 1820GS. Now both of these in titanium for the handles. These have a nice quality durable liner lock. These also have S35 VN steel. The larger version here with an overall length of 8.85 inches and a blade length of 3.85 inches. The mini with an overall length of 7 inches and a blade length of 3.0 inches. Both of these with a wharncliff design with that beautiful polished finish. They have a very nice ceramic ball bearing pivot assembly, and again that distinctive wharncliff design by Dirk Pinkerton. Now there are some very, very subtle differences and nothing super major. However, the differences are as follows. Basically, size apart. Really what I'm seeing is size of the flipper, some of the pivots, everything's really on the mini, a very scaled down size, with one little caveat being on the large full-size version, you almost have a satin finish in that fuller, whereas on the mini, it is polished. Both of them are beautifully done, just very, very subtle differences. And as we flip these over, you will see extremely similar in build quality, very much the same, extremely well done. excellent attention to detail, and a couple of beautiful pieces.
I personally would probably gravitate more towards the EDC style if I had to pick one, just because I know I'd use this all the time. Like, I would carry this in my pocket all the time.
Now, when I was at Blade Show and I saw this Mini, I knew this for me would be something that I would love to rock as an EDC, and I have certainly done so. I've carried this for roughly about 2 months on an EDC everyday carry basis, and this knife has been wonderful. Excellent quality utility purpose, great for opening boxes, excellent for detailed cuts. You could even easily dig out splinters or anything like that. But my concern with a blade like this is that at the end of the day, you have a reasonably fine tip. Now, the way this was designed, it is just a little bit more stout than other blades of a similar size and similar shape. So other Wharncliff blades with not quite as stout a tip as you have here, but when you look closely, this definitely does get quite refined. And then moving forward, looking again at the full-size version, very, very similar. But if you look again, just very fine and refined on that tip. So to me, hard use testing of this knife is going to be a question whether or not you end up with problems with the blade, or could you potentially damage the handle. Now we'll take a minute and get into the packaging so you can see how these came boxed up. As I pop this out here, this is the box from the full size, but both of them, the packaging is literally exactly the same. Artisan does a beautiful job with their presentation on these knives. You get this very nice aluminum box on the inside, a well-crafted pouch with the Artisan logo, nicely padded on the inside, a specification card, which is nicely done, a cleaning cloth, the warranty card, and just some silica gel for moisture control. But the reason why I bring all this up is inside here, you will see this little pin. Now this is one of the critical design features for this Proponent, and this is exactly what Artisan Cutlery is asking us to test. So as you look, there are fine threads, and inside the handle, this side here is threaded, this side here is a pass-through. So you can take this pin, you can thread it through the handle and into place, in essence turning this Proponent into a fixed blade knife. Now you get the benefit of the pin as well as the frame lock, and even if I disengage that frame lock, this will not move. So that thing is firm. I mean, that is completely disengaged, and that blade will not move at all in the least. So the question is, in my mind, as we hard use test this, what will break first? I am concerned that I will damage the blade, break the blade, and in reality, not really be the best overall test for the handle or the pin. In my opinion, most of the tests that can be performed with this knife, or most of the actual sort of utility purposes that you would use this for, maybe it's self-defense, maybe it's utility, but let's be realistic. In my opinion, a blade like this and with this shape really shouldn't be doing too much in the way of, I would call it like lateral movements. This is really pretty much a linear movement that you're looking to use this for. So anything that's a lateral or axial movement really is not the intended purpose for a blade like this. So my theory is that there is no task that could be performed with a blade shape like this where the handle really needs to be reinforced with a pin. If this was a drop point design or something more suited to woodscraft or bushcraft or heavy duty tactical use, I'd say maybe, but for me and my opinion, it's not really the most suitable design. So it's a little bit of a funny fit. I'm going to do my best to test this and do it in a fair manner, really to represent both the manufacturer but also the designer in an appropriate light. So everything that's done will be really fully illustrated. It'll be described carefully, and I hope that the hard use testing we do is a good overall test that brings us some conclusions to the quality, design, and strength of this knife.